Hey, what's up guys? It's Art Book Addiction here, and we're here with a new artist journey video. So today, we're going to be talking about confidence, right? So basically, artistic confidence, and confidence in your own work. It's basically just the ability to make a decision, right? Usually pretty quickly, right? And decisively, right? Confidence can really improve your work, right? It's something that is an ability that will make your work seem very simple, but also like masterfully executed, right? But confidence is not something that you can just have right away. It's something that you build up to. It takes years and years of practice and work, and some people may never have it, right? And that's just the way it is sometimes, right? But that's what we'll be talking about today. But before we start the video, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, check out my prints and Patreon if you want to support the channel. And with that, let's get into this. So first, I want to talk about just confidence, as a whole, right? You don't have to be confident like as a person to be artistically confident, right? Those are two different things. You know what I mean? It helps to be a confident person to be artistically confident, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those two things are going to meet in the correct spot, right? Usually when it comes to confidence at an earlier point in your work, usually people like that, they're just cocky, right? And like, I am someone who also had that problem too, right? I was very cocky in my youth, especially when it came to art, right? And that's not a bad thing. It could be like the foundation for building real confidence, right? But I just want you guys to understand that what I'm talking about is not like the fake stuff, right? Not necessarily fake, but like naive, right? Confidence, right? I'm talking about real confidence, the stuff that's like bedrock, okay? The thing that you can really count on when even in a situation where you have no advantage, right? Where you might be confused or like I don't know about this project, but you know what I mean? Like it's something that's like where in a situation where you are uncomfortable, right? You could have the confidence to know that well, even in this environment, I can produce the work that I want and effectively, right? So how is confidence built, right? Obviously, first thing, skill, okay? You gotta have the skills. If you don't have the skills, you're not gonna have the confidence, right? Those two things are married to each other, right? And that's okay, because some people, right, like they will not build confidence until way later in their career or their artist journey, right? And that's fine. You don't want to try to have confidence right away, right? Because that is just faux confidence, right? That's just confidence that you're bringing up to because you're scared, right? Some people have that reaction, right? I did that for many years, right? But my confidence, right, as I worked more, as I continued to paint more, to draw more, I understood that my skill was reliable, right? And after I knew that it was reliable, it gave me the comfort to make bold decisions, right? So what does that mean, right? Making a bold decision, right, is something that's where you have the confidence to make your work, and you have the confidence to make a judgment call, okay? And that judgment call can be can go against everything that you've learned, right? And that doesn't make any sense, right? Why would you do that, right? A good example, right? So for me, right, for this painting right here, this guy, right, there's a moment during this painting where her shirt wasn't this color, it wasn't green, it was more like a white, right? And that was a very safe color for me, right? And then my brain just like was like, hey, green, right? Do this green, mix this, and then put it on, right? And my brain, my logical brain, is like, that's crazy. Why would you do that, right? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't go with the color scheme, right? And then my brain is like, just do it, right? And I'm like, okay, and I do it, right? Because I have the confidence to know that like I could trust my instincts, right? I could trust, like, you know, I've been through this ride many times. I've heard the voice that tells me, hey, do this crazy thing many times, and usually it's paid off, right? And then like that has built that confidence to make a bold decision like that, right? So the benefits of confidence are staggering, right? Because like there's a lot of moments during a painting or creation where you're like, like this doesn't seem right, you know, and then you just like, this something comes out of left field, right? And you have the confidence to push it through, right? To ignore the rules and then follow your instincts, right? But if you don't know the rules, if you don't have the good foundation, right, then you're not gonna have the confidence to make a move like that, right? You'll be like, well, I gotta go with the thing that I know, right? I gotta go with the knowledge, right? With the learning, you know what I mean? And not trust my own instinct, right? And that's you know, instinct is a whole nother thing. I made a whole video on that, right? But instinct is integral to confidence, right? Being able to trust your instincts, okay? Being able to trust that even if you do this thing and it doesn't work out, you can fix it, right? I could change that anytime I want, right? Confidence allows for like you to make those calls, right? To make those crazy calls, right? Like sometimes, you know, you may be working like on like a portrait or something, right? And then you realize that like this is like the nose is wrong or like the eye is wrong, and you're like, like, and you're like and you rendered it all out, you know, everything is like beautifully done, but like it's just not right, you know. To make the call to get the eraser and just you know, erase that part, you know, and it's gonna hurt you because you spent hours doing it, right? That takes confidence, that takes guts, okay? And usually if you make the right call, it'll turn out better, right? Your work will turn out better. But it's not, it's something that's a little bit more unquantifiable, right? But having the confidence, see the masters, okay, the masters, when they do their work, right? When you see like that beautiful stroke, right? Like something like Sargent, right? Where there's the economy of lines, of strokes, right? Of brush strokes, and just like you see it like so perfectly placed, so delicate, and so like simply done, right? That is the result of confidence, right? How did he know to make that line? He didn't, but he trusted himself. He trusted his instincts. He trusted his ability to put a mark on the canvas, right? And that comes from confidence, right? But I know a lot of you guys are younger, right? You're just starting out. You're starting to get these inklings, right? So you're not going to be confident, right? But confidence will come, right? And if it doesn't come, then maybe you need to practice more, build up that skill, you know, make it so that you are comfortable, right? And once you're comfortable, then you can become confident, right? A lot of people, they build their skill on things that please people, right? Things that like I know this will work because I know like it's pleased someone before, right? Like, and that's usually like a style or something like that. And then like they have to use that as a crutch, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of people who rely on a style to output their work, right? But then if you give them like, hey, can you do this style? Hey, can you draw like a portrait or something, like realistic portrait? Then they fall apart, right? And that's due to that's a incomplete part of their foundation, right? An incomplete part of their training, right? A confident artist can be good in anything, right? And it's like, and it's like, hey, give me this thing, and like I can figure it out, and I have the confidence to make it work, right? A good artist will know that like I have this skill, 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 right? And I can make, if you want me to make this or this, you know, it doesn't matter. I can do it, right? And so like, even in an uncomfortable environment, a confident artist can produce something good, right? And that is like another, like one of the big benefits of confidence, right? But let's talk about more of the presentation of your work, right? So like, let's say you're in like school right now, right? You're in art school, and you've produced work, right? That you are that you're really proud of, okay, and you're happy with, but you're maybe a little nervous about it, right? Because you don't know how they're gonna react to it, right? That's very normal. That's very good. It's healthy, right? Even me as an artist, like I believe that I'm pretty confident in my work, right? But when I make something new, something powerful, right? Something that like, where I'm like, I don't know if that was the right call, but like I trust myself and I trust my work, right? Something like this, right? Like, I will often feel nervous about the presentation of the work, right? But confidence is not the lack of fear, right? It is courage in the face of fear, right? It's like, I will present my work and I will not try to downplay my work. I will present it as it is, let it speak for itself, right? So I've seen many times, you know, in a student's work, right? Like they'll come in and then they'll present their work and they'll say like, and then before anyone says anything, they'll point out their own mistakes, their own pitfalls. They're like, oh, I know this is wrong, I know this is wrong, I know this is wrong. And it's like no, stop. Don't do that, okay? You want to just let the work speak for itself, okay? And if people catch whatever mistakes that you should keep that just in your head, right? If they point it out, they point it out, okay? But you need to have the confidence to take the hit. Do you understand, right? It's not like, oh, like you may know the mistake, right? But they may not catch it, right? But that's not really the point, right? The point is that you need to let the work do its thing, right? Your work is like your children, okay? And like, you know, you gotta let your child perform. You know, let your child shine by itself, right? You can't come in and like, wait. Well, I know this routine was wrong. I know this was wrong. You know, I like, oh, we practiced this all night, but we couldn't get it right. You know, it's like, no, screw that, dude. Let the work speak for itself, okay? And have the confidence to allow the risk, okay? Right? Confidence isn't like you're 100% like this is it. This like I'm gonna win. You know, like you can have the mentality. That's fine, right? But having like getting out of the way of your work, right, speaks to true confidence, right? Letting it speak for itself, right? Does a chef, like a high level chef, when they craft their beautiful cooking, when they bring it out to you, right, the chef doesn't come out and say like, oh sorry dude, this is undercooked, this is no. They let it out, they watch from afar, right? Or maybe they just they just continue work on the next thing, right? But they let the food speak for itself, right? They let the meal talk to them, right? Because that's the real experience, right? When it comes to art and things that are crafted, right? The audience and the piece, right? You're just the delivery man, you know? You're just the guy who just, whoop, here it is, right? And you have to have the confidence to know your place, right? To know where you are in that line, right? And so like when you produce, right, when you show off your work, right, to other people, don't say anything, right? Or maybe you could ask them, hey, how do you feel about it? You know what I mean? Hey, what do you think about this? You know what I mean? Right? But don't sabotage your own work, right? I've seen it so many times, right? From people who a lot of people will consider confident artists, right? But you gotta be willing to take the hits, right? So like, even if you point it out, you're just hitting yourself. Like, to other people, right? If they see you like criticizing your own work, right? And like, because you're supposed to do that, but just by yourself, in your own mind, in the process, right? Okay, that's where the self-critique comes in, right? But when it comes from the external, you have to just sit there and be like, yes, chef, yes, I understand, right? Like, if someone, and even if like your teacher or someone is like telling you critique, right? You gotta take the hit, dude, right? And don't look at it as a hit. Look at it as like something that makes you better, right? I made a whole video on critique, so you guys can watch that if you want to know more about critique and how to respond to it, right? But having the confidence to put your work up and just sit there and just, here's the work, what do you think? And that's it, okay? You don't self-sabotage. You have the confidence to allow the work to speak for itself, right? And that is something very powerful, okay? Because then once you get the reactions to your work, right, it can inform you, like if you're like, whether you think it's good or not, right? Or like, because like, a lot of times, like, we as artists, we're looking at the work for so long, right? And like, so like, we don't even like we're like, well, I think I'm like 99% sure it's good, right? But I don't know the reaction. I don't know how other people are gonna respond, right? So there's fear in that, but the confidence to put it out, okay, that's powerful, okay? And you need to do it again and again and again, and that builds the confidence, right? That builds the decision making, right? That allows you to make that masterpiece, right? Because you face the fear many times. You face it again and again and again, and you know what? It's never gonna go away. It's never gonna go away. If you are an artist, you should know, right? That like, every step of the way, right? Like, you might be nervous about it. You know what I mean? But you gotta have the confidence to understand, like, no. Forget the doubts. Forget the noise, right? This is me. This is my work, okay? And I'm gonna show it the way I want to, right? And you have to trust yourself, trust your decisions, okay? That it's the relationship between you and your artwork, right? And that trust to deliver the thing that you're trying to output, right? And the muse, of course, right? The divinity, right? And building up that trust will allow you to have the confidence that you need, right? And sometimes you may have the confidence to understand, like, when someone makes the wrong call, right? Like, they're like, hey, they said this about your work, and you're like you don't say anything, but in your mind you're like, well, this thing I believe is incorrect, right? This thing, you do have a point. This thing, you like, I'm not so sure about that, right? Because there's bad critique, you know what I mean? But you gotta have the confidence to understand and to take those hits, right? To be able to listen, okay, without bias, objectively, you know what I mean, right? And to make those calls, right? That's what makes powerful art, and that's what will make you a powerful artist, right? I think we can end the video here, guys. Please, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, hit that subscribe, check out my prints and Patreon if you want to support the channel. Leave a comment, tell me how you guys feel about your work. Are you confident in your work? Are you not confident, right? Do you want to build that confidence, and how are you doing it right now, right? Let me know down below, right? Ring that bell for notification, all that bullshit, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.